If you clicked on this video, chances are you're a roofer and you probably tried a marketing agency before and got burned, maybe even multiple times, lost thousands of dollars, it didn't really work out, and you might not even know why. And for full transparency, I actually do run my own marketing agency for roofers. And before you click off the video, yes, I technically have something to sell you, but I'm a believer in gaining people's trust by actually providing good value and educating them. And I talk to a lot of roofers every single day, and what I hear over and over and over again is that people have already tried multiple marketing agencies and it didn't work out. They lost thousands of dollars, they got shitty leads, a lot of promises in the beginning, and then it just didn't work. And me as a marketer, obviously, I kind of like know what other agencies and other people do and why it doesn't work out. And at the same time, obviously, what I do and why it works out. And without wanting to sell you anything, I really just want to walk you through in this video what a lot of marketing agencies out there actually do and why you should avoid it. At the end of this video, you're really just a lot more educated when it comes to the whole topic. So when you talk to another marketing agency, you can actually ask them what kind of ads they run, how their funnel looks like, how their back end looks like, to really determine, okay, is this a legit marketing agency or really just pretty much the same thing that I've tried before. And I don't just want to shit on any marketer out there. There are great agencies out there that actually work, and this is actually why I do this video, because I believe in today's economy as a roofer, you just gotta run some type of marketing to really get consistent quality job flow in and actually scale the company. And as I said, there are companies out there that really do a good job. So I want you to be able to actually determine what companies are good and what companies are bad, so you can actually find a company that you can work with for months and maybe even years to actually build something and grow the company. So that being said, let's dive into it. First of all, promises that you've probably seen before when you talk to like other agencies. Maybe you're currently looking for another marketing agency, and obviously like what everybody is promising you is what you want to hear. Like obviously quality, interested homeowners, consistent high profit jobs. Everything is automated for you. You just need to drive there, close the jobs, super simple. And I mean, all that stuff is great, and it's possible to have a system in place that does those things, but the reality looks different a lot of the times. And I really just kind of like want to show you like what those people and those agencies, or at least a lot of them, actually do. And again, this doesn't apply to everyone. Like there are legit people out there that provide super nice, good services that really work. But the truth is like 90% of the agencies do kind of like run the same stuff. So first of all, generic Facebook image ads. Chances are you've probably tried Facebook ads, Instagram ads, that kind of like stuff. And while Facebook and Instagram, it's really just a platform. And what you gotta understand is that on those platforms, there are hundreds of millions of people. So they're like your perfect ideal customers on that platform. People with multi-million-dollar homes, big projects that are looking for a quality roofer, they are on this platform. It's really just about like what advertisement you actually put out determines what people you attract. So what a lot of people do, and you might have seen those ads, maybe the companies you work with did those, are just very generic image ads that really are super pricing focused. So let it be a picture of your team or just super generic stuff like this right here. And either way, it's like very pricing focused. So you just put a number to it, and it doesn't really build your brand. So essentially, you set unrealistic expectations and really attract price shoppers, like people that are just looking for the cheapest bid, wanting to get like 20 quotes, going with the cheapest one. So the leads are super hard to close because you got to chase them for weeks until they got all their quotes. And then if you don't have the cheapest bid, you're not going to close them. And then obviously you get rather poor homeowners with small houses, leaving you with small profits. And a lot of the times, like even if you close them, you have to go down with, prices. So your margins get really thin and it's not really worth it anymore, especially considering the time that you put in chasing all those leads. So this is like a very big issue. And before anyone starts commenting, yeah, this works for me, it might work for you, but in general, like if you want to make this work, like running those generic ads, it's a very different strategy. Like there are multiple strategies out there, so you can either go for a very, very, very cheap lead and just go volume. But if you do that, you really need to have like really, really good structures in the backend, meaning like a call center that can call the leads within 30 seconds with superior sales abilities. You need to be able to drive out there fast. You need to be willing to deal with a lot of low quality people. And you need to have very great pricing, because if you can't nearly match the expectations that you set in the ads, it's going to be very tough. So if you don't check all those boxes, I would really stay away from this. And even if you check those boxes, I think there's just like way better approaches, because how I see it is that today's social media ads on Facebook are really what TV commercials once were. So you can either run ads like this, or you can come up with actual commercials, and I will show you some examples later on in this video that leave an impression, that build your brand. So first thing, generic Facebook image ads, everyone's running it. There are thousands of people out there, like way too much competition. It's going to be super tough to make this work. Second thing, Facebook instant forms. So this is how people capture the leads. And there are two ways you can go about it. Like you can do a landing page, meaning you actually build out a solid website, or you just keep people on Facebook, meaning they click on this ad right here, and it's just a form that pops up on Facebook. It don't even take them off the platform. And the problem with this is that a lot of the times they don't even put like questions before that, but even if they do, people can submit this within seconds. Like they click 2 buttons, their information usually pre-fills, meaning they have their information in their Facebook profile and it pre-fills, so they just click 2-3 buttons and they're elite. Now the problem with that is that you get a lot of people that accidentally sign up, so they don't even remember, like when you call them, they don't even remember that they signed up because they didn't do it intentionally. And the ones that did it intentionally, a lot of the times the data is just super poor quality because again, it pre-fills the information that's in their Facebook profile. So if they added their number 5 or 10 years ago to their Facebook profile, it will fill in there instead of them manually typing in their best phone number, for example. And this just leads to bad phone numbers, spam leads, like super bad data, so you end up like not being able to reach most of them. Then in general, like if you look at this, like this is essentially the whole funnel. People see this ad, it's an image ad, they probably don't remember the company at all they have in mind is one number, okay, it's about a roof, and that's the price. They click and that's a lead. So extremely generic, doesn't really leave any impressions, so it leads to people forgetting about actually signing up because it's like it doesn't tell people anything, it doesn't leave any impressions. So even if you call them like an hour after that, they might have already forgotten that they signed up for this. Then yeah, you miss out on actually building your branding, selling people on your company. And that's a huge thing. Like, you can really advertise in your local market and actually leave an impression and make people see your company so your brand will build over time. And this is what I was talking about. Like, it will actually compound after a while because you build an audience and you build trust through your brand in the local market, which will give you kind of like a snowball effect later down the line. So you're completely missing out on that because it's really just super generic. You could either way, like you could run this on your company Facebook page, but you could also run this on like a super generic page just meant for lead gen. So that's also like a huge problem. And then what they from there usually say is like everyone has like text message automations. Now usually those text message automations are really very generic. Once again, like it just says something like, hey John, this is this company, you reached out for a free estimate. And once again, like this is nothing, it's not bad. Okay, like it's good to have that in place, but honestly, every company is doing that nowadays, so it doesn't really move the needle. Like when the leads sign up, no matter with what company, they will receive the same messages. So it's not like it's differentiating you from anyone. It's good to have those automations just because it automatically gets back to them fast. Maybe you can have a couple follow-up automations, and it's great. I talk about this a lot. Like you can do this through like GoHighLevel. It's a relatively simple setup, and again, a lot of companies are doing it, and it just won't move a needle. Like the system is only as good as the fuel you put into it. So if you attract super low quality leads and capture super low quality leads, something like text message automations won't save your ass. Like it won't really move the needle. Now that being said, it can still be a great thing to have. But again, like it doesn't matter if you just have like bad leads coming in. So the actual outcome you get, like the promises, you remember, were quality leads. Obviously, you get a return within 2 weeks and you close a lot of jobs. Everything is nice. The actual outcome usually is you can't reach 80% of the leads that they generate, even though you're paying for the leads. The ones you actually reach are tire kickers, price shoppers, or just forgot that they signed up. And after weeks of chasing, you might be able to close a job, but had to go down in price so much that you barely make a profit because they're just like super cheap price shoppers. So that way you spend a lot of money on ads, you spend a lot of money with the company, and you don't really end up making any returns. So you waste thousands of dollars and are usually left with no real return because after that, like if you turn the system off, there's nothing that stays. They didn't even push your brand. The impressions that you got on the ads didn't even count because it's super generic. And this is like a huge problem that I see. And this is the whole reason why I record the video. I want you to be prepared, and when you talk to a company, actually ask them like, how do their ads look like? How do they do things? Because if you become somewhat an expert, like okay, this is good and this is bad, then you will be able to kind of like filter through the BS and just find a company that actually works for you. And this is what I want at the end of the day. How it should be done. I'm just going to show you how we do things, how I do things, because it's obviously my perspective. It's working for the companies I'm working with. Now, once again, yes, I have something to sell, but this video is not meant to sell you. This video is meant to educate you, and I want you to be able to make an educated decision. So you can watch my free content, or you can just go to another agency and apply the knowledge that I'm giving you to kind of like filter through the BS. Now, I just have like a quick presentation right here that I usually show to people, which kind of like displays my system in a relatively simple way. So essentially, it consists out of four pillars. First pillar is the lead sourcing, and that's again like the foundation of the whole thing. Like if you don't have the right lead sourcing, if you don't attract the right leads, then everything after that doesn't matter, because remember, the system is only as good as the fuel you put into it. So first of all, how we start, instead of running those shitty ads right here, what we do is we actually try to run video ads. First of all, just video ads are already a great thing, because in 30 seconds to a minute long video, you can just tell people a lot more about you and your company than in an image ad, and it leaves like a better impression, because with a video ad, if you make it catchy, like people, it's actually like visual and people actually remember it. So when they sign up, they remember, okay, hey, this is the person like from this video ad, I remember this ad. While with this all they have in mind is just one price tag. And you can even go like a much harder like on branding in those video ads. I will show you an example here in a second, but you can really push your company forward so people actually remember, okay, this is the company. And the great thing is, usually what we do is we have like 5 to 10 different video ads to start off with, and we kind of like keep coming up with new content. So essentially people see, like people in the local markets see those ads over and over and over again, meaning that they actually get familiar with your brand and company. So even if they're not looking for a roofer right now, they might follow your page, and after like 2-3 months, they might want to reach out to you because they saw those ads and they like those ads. So having quality ads in place is like a huge thing already. And then inside of those ads, like there are a couple strategies you can drive. If you want to record your own ads, that's great. I always say, like, you know, me and my team think like it's really one of the best ways to go about it. Like if you can record your own ads, do it. We usually guide the people that we work with on how to actually do the ads and do the script writing and everything. If you want to be like fully removed, that's totally fine. Like for example, what you can do is you can hire actors to kind of like create your ads and just give them a script. That's what we do a lot. Or voiceovers are also a great way. Like get an editor or whatever. Do voiceovers. Like voiceovers work very well, and you obviously don't need to hire an actor or invest the time in recording your own content, which I would later down the line still recommend. Kind of like give you like an idea of like a quick voiceover. Let me show you this.
Looking for a roofer right here in Oakland County you can actually trust?
First of all, first 3 seconds already calling out the local area, because we want to get like specific with the local market that we want to build trust and authority in. So we call out that market, and instead of saying you can get a roof for $5,000, we make it around, you know, we hook people and build the whole ad around trust. And again, this is just one example, but let me just keep playing this for a while.
Buildco is the #1 local roofing company, rated 5 stars by your neighbors. From roof repairs to full exterior makeovers, we do it all right away and on budget.
You get the idea. It's a short ad, it's catchy, you need to make it catchy, but at the same time it's really like more focused on, okay, Google reviews, branding, pushing the brand forward, building trust. And this is just naturally going to attract a much higher quality audience than something like this, because if I'm a homeowner and I'm really like, I don't have a lot of money, which is fine, like I don't want to judge anyone, but if I'm a homeowner, I don't have a lot of money, I need to get my roof done as cheap as possible, then I'm probably getting 20 quotes from 20 companies, and an ad like this with like an unrealistic price will obviously attract my attention. While if I'm a wealthier homeowner, maybe I have a multi-million-dollar home and I want a quality company to work on that roof, and I don't care about saving $1,000, then an ad like this might catch my attention. So all we're doing right here is essentially the ads are doing the targeting for us, because the algorithm on platforms like Facebook is super smart. So they recognize what kind of people interact with your ads and show those ads to more people like that. So purely by running ads like this, we actually attract a higher quality audience. So again, like all that really means is we will get homeowners that are buy ready, interested in working with your company, not just any other company. So they're easier to close. You don't got to chase after them a lot, and they're looking for quality, not just the cheapest bid. And then as a bonus, usually those are wealthier homeowners, meaning they got bigger houses, bigger projects, meaning bigger profits and margins for you. So this is the first pillar. This is really like the most important piece of the puzzle. Again, everything after that doesn't really matter if you don't get this right. Now, what comes after that is essentially, first of all, the lead capturing. So remember when I talked about the instant Facebook form, what we want to do is we actually want to build a landing page. So essentially here you have an example of a landing page. The main thing about this is really, again, leaving an impression, so making it look clean and professional, so when people sign up on this they actually remember, and also giving them some information. Like the key point here is to pre-sell them on the company essentially. So we provide like stuff like credibility, we talk about our guarantees and the qualities of our company around pricing, insurance, warranty, whatever it is. We include some reviews with some actual pictures of finished projects so people can actually see our work and see what other people in their market actually say about us as a company. And we tell them like the next steps. So we actually tell them, okay, when you sign up, this is what's going to happen. This is what you sign up for. So they expect to get an estimate, an inspection, and obviously the installation and the cleanup. So it's very simplified. Like we don't want to overwhelm them with information, which is why we don't put them directly to your homepage, but we want to give them enough information in order to pre-sell them and actually make sure it's a quality lead by just giving them the information that they need to know like what's going to happen after I sign up. So they expect a phone call from you. They expect to get an estimate. They expect to get an inspection, and that's what we want. Then from here, we want to also pre-qualify them. Like we don't want a lot of bad quality data or tire kickers come through. So what we do is we just disqualify people who rent, for example, and then just ask them a couple of questions to make sure they're actually qualified. We obviously ask them for their address, and then from there, we ask them for their name and for their phone number and email address. And in here, by the way, we actually do a phone number qualification. So if people put like a BS phone number in here, it's not going to let them submit, which just ensures that we're really getting like high quality phone data and you can actually reach the people. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but it really makes a big difference in, like, at the end of the day, like what they expect and what kind of like people and leads you get. Because we want to really filter out like the low quality people, make sure we're getting good quality data. And again, like if you have this in place, like just the landing page and the ads, it's gonna be a game changer. Like that's actually gonna come up with some solid leads. Now, not every lead will be perfect, so we still want to have like a qualification process, and then obviously the booking process. This is gonna be like very individual. Like if you already are established, you have a sales team, you got reps that are able to call the leads super fast, then that's amazing. What we don't want to do is just leave it up to, like text automations. Like this is what, again, like a lot of companies do. Like if you don't have like an actual sales team and they just send the leads to you as a business owner and all they got is like text automations, that's probably gonna make you lose out on a lot of business as well, because you're a business owner, you're a roofer, like you got other shit to focus on, and you won't always be able to call a lead within a minute of them signing up 7 days a week. Like sometimes you're maybe like out and about like on a job, or even if you give it like to your sales reps, say you want to focus on actually running appointments instead of like qualifying leads all day long. So having like a call center, for example, is what we do. Like we have trained setters US based that can call the leads up, or at least like instead of like super generic text message automations that just say, hey John, looking for a free estimate, we actually have an AI booking bot, meaning a bot with a third-party software that's educated on your company, meaning it's an actual receptionist. Like the bot knows everything about your company, what you do, your services, your financing options, in and out. So when the bot reaches out to the leads that we generate and they have a counter question, the bot is able to handle that question and at the same time pre-qualify them over text. So it asks them for their full address, it asks them for if they have specific damage, it asks them for all those kind of like things. And then when the bot knows, okay, this lead is serious, I got a legit address, that's a good number, the lead is responsive, then it books them in for an appointment automatically. So this way, like even if you don't have a sales team, even if we don't put the setters on the leads, you still have this bot that's running 24/7, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, even at 3 a.m. at night. When a lead comes in, the bot is active and the bot will be able to qualify the lead, book them in right there and then when they're actually hot, when they're looking for a roof. And this is crucial. Like this has really helped us to really get like insane lead to appointment conversion rates through either calling or text messaging. And then from there to really like make success pretty much inevitable, we want to have like some nurturing and some reminders, because again at each stage there can be a drop off, and even if we book the appointments, we also want a lot of people to show and we want you to have the highest possibility of closing them. So we do that by further pre-selling them, meaning like sending them text automated email automations with like valuable content, reviews, info about the company, testimonials, all that kind of like stuff that just pre-sells them on your business, and also some reminder text messages. So all to really make sure, okay, like if you show up at their door, they actually open the door, they expect you, and they know who you are, what the qualities of your company are. So at that point, it's going to be easy. Like you can close them right there and then on the spot, especially if they, have an urgent roof problem. And not a lot of companies, make this effort and actually do all this stuff. So yeah, again, it really makes a big difference. So now you kind of like know how at least I do things and how a system would technically look like that actually works. Now there might be other agencies that do stuff on other platforms like Google, and I don't know everything. I just have one system that works for me and works for the companies I'm working with. So there might be other stuff out there. My goal with this video was really just to give you a visual idea of how it looks like how a low quality marketing funnel looks like versus how a high quality working funnel looks like. So you can actually, when you work with companies, kind of like determine, are they BS or do they have something legit? And then just talk about realistic results. You're not going to change your business completely overnight. Anyone that tells you that like we can get you 30 jobs within 2 weeks or you get your money back, like that's 99.9% of the time BS. So yeah. And then the goal is to really just get a return on investment, meaning an ROI in the first 30 days to keep improving and scaling. Like even if you don't hit crazy numbers, like 30 jobs in the first month, that doesn't mean it's not working. Like the goal is really usually to get an ROI, meaning you get more money back than you invested after 30 days. So you have some spare money and you have the capability of going into the second and third and fourth month to improve the system and grow. Because at the end of the day, you will have to keep testing ads and keep testing things to really get there. Like we consistently need to test more ads to find like real winners after a while, and that can take a couple of weeks. And then your brand will slowly develop in the local market, so results compound after a while. Like sometimes if you've been running ads for like 2-3 months, you actually start seeing how results compound. Like it's actually like a bit exponential. Like it can start off slow sometimes and then really like increase a lot when your brand is actually built. And then once the system is running smoothly, you can really scale it up to the moon. So if you have a system where you put $1 in and get $5 out, you would probably put every dollar you have in your bank account in there. So that's pretty much what you can do at that point. Now, when it comes to scaling, that's another thing. Like I think I got a video on my channel called like how to get 20 roofing jobs a month from social media advertising, which kind of like walks you through the process of how it looks like to start at zero and actually slowly ramp the system up, and actually walks you through the scaling process, which is a lot different than some people think. But at the end of the day, that will definitely be possible, to actually reach your bigger goals. And just to kind of like show you some data to finish up the video, this is like data that we typically look for with this strategy. Now, some accounts are much better than this. Some accounts are maybe a bit worse than this. Like it really gonna depend like on the location and on the company and all the structures. So it's not gonna be always the exact same numbers, but usually we strive for a cost per lead for about $50. So it's a bit more expensive than if you run obviously your pricing focused ad with lead forms. With those, you will probably get like, I don't know, $20 leads, maybe even cheaper than that, but you're going to be flooded with low quality leads, so it's going to be hard to keep up and you won't really get a return. Now, with this, we're paying maybe $50 a lead from the advertising. The lead to contact rate, we look for like 80%, so out of 10 leads you get, you should at least be able to reach 8 of them. Then the contact to appointment rate, about 50%. You can get this higher, like if you really have a solid team, or if we put the call center on there, can even be like 60-70%. And then appointment to show rate, usually we strive for like 80% at least, like 80 to 90%. And then show to close rate, 30% is like the industry average. Like usually, like when we look at roofers, like they close at about 30%. Now, if you obviously get referrals, your close rate might be 90%, but with cold leads like this, it's probably going to be around 30% if you could. So again, with some people those numbers will be better. With some people they will be slightly worse. But in general, like just taking those numbers as an example and doing the math on it, if you spend $1,500 on ads, you get 30 leads, 24 contacts, 12 appointments, 10 show, 3 closes. Now again, like if your closing ability is a bit better, and considering that we kind of like pre-sell them on the company throughout the whole sale, you might be able to get even more than 3 closes. But even with this, like even if you just get 3 closed roof replacement jobs, your cost per acquisition is $500, meaning you put $500 into the system to get a roof replacement back. And as we're going after the wealthier homeowners, chances are the projects are going to be higher tickets, so you're probably going to profit at least like $5K per replacement, like per project. So if we get you 3 projects, that's $15K, meaning $1,500 invested, $15K back in profit. So that's a 10x ROI. When we're considering profit. So this is how you actually like how the math can actually work out with the system. So that pretty much sums up the video. I hope that makes sense. Now, if you want more information like this, you can either subscribe to the channel and just check out my free content. You can also click like the second link in the description. Just put your email in there, and I got like a roofing marketing newsletter where I kind of like regularly send some more exclusive stuff like material, ads, examples, and all that kind of like stuff. So if you're interested in that, just more exclusive information, then you can do that. It's completely free. And then what you can also do, first link in my description, if you're interested in either working with me or if you just want to get some more information about how this works and maybe would work for your business, you can book a free 1-hour strategy session with me. Again, completely no pressure, no obligation. It's really just a 1-hour strategy session. Happy to do that if you want to reach out. And if not, again, keep enjoying my free content. Thank you for watching the whole video, and you have a great day.